Thank you very much, Representative Ogles. I'd like to go back now on our lightning round of questioning to Representative Burchett and then Burleson. Burchett, always number one.
As well I should be. Number one in your heart, number 435 on the chart. That's me. Dylan, knowing you testified to AARO, are they obfuscating when they claim to have discovered no evidence of extraterrestrial beings, activity, or technology, and are they lying to the American public?
As I said before, it's a manipulation of the public perception. The statement, scientific evidence of extraterrestrials, is a true statement. It is not the truth about what is happening and what we have.
Citizens assume that when their government denies something, it must be because there truly is nothing there. The official voice is treated as the final authority, yet, according to testimonies, that trust is exploited to suppress deeper realities. The public is left debating whether alien life exists at all, while behind closed doors, far more complex discussions may already be underway. Such a strategy not only keeps the truth hidden, but also ensures that anyone who dares to challenge the official narrative is easily dismissed as delusional, conspiratorial, or untrustworthy. The stigma itself becomes part of the manipulation, a tool to silence dissent before it gains momentum. The consequences of this are enormous. If people are deliberately being steered away from the truth, then democracy itself suffers because the people cannot make informed decisions.
Any of y'all like to comment on that further? Mr. Knapp, you're getting edgy.
It's splitting hairs. No proof that they're extraterrestrials. What would that proof look like? A piece of kryptonite? What would it be? I mean, we could be talking about different forms of non-human intelligence. I think the dominant paradigm is that they come from outer space, somewhere else, and they have some way that they can cross those vast distances that we can't even imagine doing. But not necessarily, that's not necessarily the answer. So asking for proof of extraterrestrials might not be the answer at all. It's splitting hairs. We don't know where they're from. I don't know anyone who knows the answer for sure. They call them aliens just as a placekeeper kind of a word, but no one in all these programs who've studied this stuff for years, people with much bigger brains than mine, knows the answer for sure.
Yeah, I've talked to Navy folks that some of the deep sea areas, they think there might be something there that they're here, and I don't know when they got here. Another point that needs to be made is every time, we say we're going to back engineer or whatever you want to call it, these craft, I always say, like, it'd be like if you took I ride motorcycles, but if you took like an Indian or a Harley to the people that came over here on the Mayflower, they'd see a bright, shiny object, they might polish it, they might get it started. I doubt they could. They couldn't work on it. They couldn't put fuel. They wouldn't be able to have the capability of putting fuel in it.
This struggle to comprehend does not come from lack of intelligence or effort, but from the vast technological gap that separates us from the creators of such machines. Human science operates within the boundaries of the knowledge we have built up over centuries, slowly layering discoveries until they form the foundation of our current reality. If these objects truly embody technology from a civilization or intelligence far ahead of us, then we are essentially trying to decode advanced quantum mechanics with the intellectual tools of a blacksmith. Each attempt to engineer such technology is like scratching the surface of an ocean of knowledge with a single grain of sand. The frustration comes not from the absence of effort, but from the mismatch between our capabilities and the complexity of what is in front of us. Yet, the potential hidden within these technologies is staggering. If even a fraction of their mechanisms could be understood, the impact on humanity could be revolutionary. The way we generate power, the way we travel, even the way we understand physics itself could be transformed overnight. Burchett warns that the first person or group to crack the code will not just gain an advantage, but will hold the key to energy, propulsion, and an entirely new age of innovation. It would be a discovery capable of redefining civilization, creating a leap forward greater than any in recorded history. That possibility both inspires awe and instills fear.
I just think that's we're scratching at something that we don't have any knowledge of, and that's why it's just taken so dadgum long. But they do know, the first one that cracks that code, it's over. I mean, it's energy, it's power, it's everything. and I worry too that in the wrong hands that they do that, they keep it from the rest of us because they're so invested in whatever energy sources we have here that their billionaire buddies are going to profit, and they can't retool because they know once it's out on the internet, it's over. And so I think there's a lot of things going after, and I think that's why the move to discredit folks is so rapid too. I think, they point to them and they put the dogs on them, and it disgusts me.
There's a price to be paid for that too. The Russians and Chinese are trying to figure this out as well, but they don't have the same kind of stigma. They tell their best scientists and engineers, get in there and work on it. And
in stark contrast, rival nations like Russia and China do not carry the same cultural stigma. Their governments are said to openly direct their top scientific minds toward these anomalies without hesitation. They are not concerned with ridicule, but focused on results. Their best engineers and physicists are instructed to study, test, and experiment, which could give them a significant head start in unlocking whatever secrets these technologies hold. If they succeed before the U.S., the implications would be profound. Not only would it shift the balance of scientific progress, but it could also create an enormous national security risk, giving other nations access to revolutionary capabilities before America even acknowledges the seriousness of the subject. The concern is not just about pride or prestige, but about survival in a rapidly changing technological landscape. If another country gains control over energy systems that break the limits of today's physics, they would control the future of power generation, transportation, and perhaps even weaponry. Such an advancement would dwarf the nuclear arms race, as it would mean holding the keys to an entirely new era of technology. The warning given is clear. Falling behind in this race is not an option, because the first to crack the code could dominate every aspect of the modern world. Yet the American reluctance to fully embrace the study of these phenomena comes from more than just stigma. It ties into the suspicion that there are deliberate efforts to suppress progress, to protect existing industries and political interests. By refusing to acknowledge the legitimacy of the subject in public forums, officials ensure that mainstream science avoids it, leaving the field to be quietly explored by those outside public scrutiny. This lack of transparency doesn't just hinder progress. It creates the possibility that other nations are advancing while the U.S. is stalled by its own secrecy.
And they've been doing it for a very long time, might have a head start on us. Here, we don't have our best scientists and engineers working on it because they've been told it's nonsense. The stigma is very real for people like that.
I agree. Yield back, Chair Lady.
Thank you. Now